Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and today we are with a topic called tissues. See, if you can recall our previous chapter, it was all about cells. We discussed each and every aspect of cell, right? And we got to know one thing out of the chapter, that cell is the basic functional and structural unit of life, right? And if you go for unicellular organism, they have only one cell. All activities will take place in that one cell itself, isn't it? But in multicellular organism like humans, we have crores and crores of cells, guys. Okay, and certain cells will perform a specific function, like the cells that are present in a brain will do some work. Like, what is the work of a brain has to give signals to the entire body. Okay, so that is the work done by the cells present in a brain. And the cells present in a stomach will do a duty called digestion. The moment you eat food, the food will go to stomach, there the digestion should happen, isn't it? Say certain group of cells, they will get specialized in doing some function, in doing some work, isn't it? Say these group of cells which are actually similar with each other and they perform a particular function, those group of cells we will call it as tissues, guys. Okay, say actually speaking, our living systems are made up of cells, isn't it? And group of cells, these cells will group together. So group of cells, we will call it as tissue. We will call it as tissue. Okay, and so many tissues of same type will group together and to form an organ. Got to know? Say stomach is one organ, mouth is one organ, brain is one organ, heart is one organ. Okay, say for example, brain is an organ. Brain will contain tissues, guys, so many tissues. Each tissue will have a group of cells. Got to know? Right? So you can go for this example also. In the previous chapter, I told you our house is made up of bricks, right? Many bricks, if you arrange, you will get a big house. If you take up a particular room, right? Say for example, you take kitchen. Say what is the work you do it in a kitchen? You will cook. The kitchen's purpose is to cook, but the kitchen is made up of bricks only, no? Right? Say the kitchen, a group of bricks which is designed in the form of a room. In that room, what is the purpose of that room? To cook. Right? Say like that, each and every room, if you take up, it is made up of bricks only of its own type. Just like that, in our human body also, each and every organ is made up of tissues, guys. And each and every tissue is again made up of so many cells. Okay. So what is the definition I can write for tissue here? Tissue is nothing but group of cells. Group of cells which are similar and perform a specific function. Perform a specific function is called tissue. Okay, so many group of cells, many cells will form one group, and in that group all cells are same to look at. In their structure they are similar, and what is the duty? They all have one particular duty to perform. Okay, say for example our human heart is actually organ contains many tissues, guys. Okay, and each and every tissue contains group of cells. Clear, everybody? Say this is how cells combine to become tissues, tissues combine to become organ. Clear? And this is what the sequence that you have to remember. Clear? Fine. And now here we are going to study two types of tissues. Okay, we will study the plant tissues, and we will also study animal tissues. Okay, and actually speaking, there is not so much, but some differences are there between plant and animal tissues. Once you know everything about plant tissue, once you know everything about animal tissues, you yourself will come to know what is the difference. So, the difference between plant and animal tissue I will discuss at the end of the chapter. Right? And now let us discuss about the plant tissue. So after finishing the plant tissue, we can go for discussing about animal tissue. Clear? And now remember, plant tissues are of two types. Okay? First one is meristematic tissue. Clear? And other one is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue again is of three types. Note down this flow chart. One by one we have to discuss, guys. Okay? So meristematic tissue is again of three types. One is apical meristematic, intercalary meristematic, and finally lateral meristematic. And permanent tissue is also of two types, guys. One is simple permanent tissue and the other one is complex permanent tissue. Clear? So plant tissues we will find two types. One is meristematic, the other one is permanent. Again in the meristematic we have three types. Again in the permanent tissue we have two types. All the types we have to discuss one by one in detail. Okay? First and foremost, let us go for meristematic tissue. Coming to the meristematic tissue, you know, meristematic tissue includes any tissue includes lot of cells which are similar in structure. Yes or no? So meristematic tissue includes cells that divide continuously. Okay, so what is the purpose of these cells, guys? What is the work that these cells will do? They divide continuously. Okay, and this particular tissue helps in the growth of a plant. It helps in growth of a plant. Okay, so if a plant have to grow, this meristematic tissue is compulsory. And remember, meristematic tissue is not present in all regions of a plant. It is not present in all regions of a plant, guys. Okay, it is present in only certain areas where a plant is actually growing. Okay, say remember this point. It is not present in all areas of a plant. It is present only in certain areas. Present in growing areas. Okay, which region of a plant is called as a growing area? The shoot, the tip of a plant, it has to grow in height, isn't it? And the stem have to grow in diameter. It should grow a little fatter, isn't it? So only in certain areas where the growth is required, right? Only in those areas this meristematic tissue is found. Okay, and now let us try to list out the features of meristematic tissue. Features of meristematic tissue. Features in the sense, what characters do you find in the cells of meristematic tissue? You know, actually the cells contain thinner cell walls. Okay, thinner cell walls. Cell walls are thinner, and the cells are very active. You will find very active cells. Okay, and you will find prominent nuclei. Very prominent nuclei. We all have studied inside the cell you will have nucleus, and the nucleus is very much prominent, okay, inside a cell. And remember guys, the cells do not contain vacuole. Cells do not have vacuole. We all know what do you mean by vacuole, right? Vacuole is the one which is present inside a cell, and what is the main function of a vacuole? To store food. Yes, and meristematic cells doesn't need much food guys, because their work is to divide. Once the division is over, you know, these guys will be converted into something else. They won't remain as meristematic cells throughout the life. You know, after the growth is over, these particular cells which are responsible for the growth, you know, what do they become? They get converted into something else. Okay, because they won't remain as dividing cells for their lifetime. Okay, the cells are going to be changed into something else after giving certain growth to the plant, right? And they don't require much food. Vacuole's purpose is to store food. Since they don't require much food, you know, they don't have vacuole only, right? So this is a very important question guys, right? Why meristematic cells do not contain vacuole? Do not contain vacuole. You know, it's a very important question. Write the answer by yourself. Just now I gave explanation, isn't it? Meristematic tissue will not remain as meristematic tissue for the entire life. Their work is to divide continuously for the growth of a plant. Once the plant has grown, what happens? That meristematic tissue is actually getting converted into something else. Some specialized, it will get converted into some specialized cells to perform another function. Okay, actually that is getting converted into permanent tissue. So it doesn't require much food. What is vacuole's duty? To store food. When it is not requiring much food, why the vacuole is necessary inside a cell? To store food? Not necessary, isn't it? So that's the reason meristematic tissue do not contain vacuole, right? The cells in the meristematic tissue do not contain vacuole. Very important point, and you should know reason for it. Clear? So you can post the answer in a comment box also, so that I can get to know how far you understood this point. Clear? Fine. And later, let us go for studying three types of meristematic tissue, right? I told you there are three types of meristematic tissue. They are, first one, apical meristematic, second one is intercalary meristematic, and third one is lateral meristematic. Okay, so let us discuss one by one in detail. Coming to apical meristematic. You know, apical meristematic tissue is found in tip of a plant. Okay, helps in growing the height of a plant. Clear? So this particular meristematic tissue is found at the tip of a plant, because there the cells will continuously divide so that the height of the plant can be increased. Clear? So what is the use of apical meristematic, guys? Helps in increasing height of a plant. Clear? Say for example, I have got one plant tip. This is the plant tip. So in this part, you will find apical meristematic tissue. Okay, where the cells will continuously divide so that height of a plant can be seen. Okay, plant grows in its height. Clear? Say this is where apical meristematic tissue will be present. Fine. And second one, and also it is found at the tip of roots also. Even the roots also should grow in a ground, isn't it? So the root tip also has apical meristematic tissue. Clear? Second one, intercalary meristematic tissue. Intercalary. So where do you find this intercalary? It is found at internodes. It is found at internodes. What do you mean by internodes, guys? Okay, see, this is what, observe here, this, here two leaves would have been there. This is one internode. Here the point where leaves arises from stem is actually called as internode. You see, this is one internode, this is one internode, this is one internode, this is one internode. Okay, see, these, the points where actually leaves are arising is called internodes. Say at these points, intercalary meristematic tissue would be there. Okay, and also here below the stalk of a leaf, this is called stalk, the base of a leaf. That area also should grow in a plant. This is also a growing region, right? See, in this region, the meristematic tissue present is called intercalary meristematic tissue. Okay, and so where it is found? It is found at internodes and at stalk of a leaf. Okay, fine. And coming to the third type of meristematic tissue, that is lateral meristematic. Lateral meristematic. So this lateral meristematic tissue is found in stem. Okay, it is found in stem, bark area, etc. So what is the use of this lateral meristematic? Okay, actually this lateral meristematic tissue helps in increasing diameter of a plant. Increasing diameter of a plant. That means what, guys? This meristematic tissue helps the plant to become fatter. Okay, growth in the sense not only growing in a height. Growth means to grow in size also. Yes or no? Plant should become thicker. It should become fatter. So this lateral meristematic tissue, usually it is found in the stem area. Okay, and this lateral meristematic tissue helps in growing the plant's diameter. Okay, plant's width is grown. Clear? So that is about the three types of meristematic tissue. Okay, say if I have to represent meristematic tissue picturically, I can represent like this. Say if this is a plant and this is the tip, the tip will always have what, guys? At the tip, whatever the tissue or cells present is called, apical meristematic. Okay, and see from here, imagine one leaf is coming out from here, one leaf thing is coming out, right? And from here one leaf thing is coming out, from here one leaf stalk is growing, right? So these areas here in this area, whatever the tissue that is present, which is responsible for the growth, that is called intercalary meristematic. Intercalary meristematic. And lateral meristematic tissue is found like this, okay, vertically in the stem part, right? So this is lateral meristematic tissue, guys, right? So apical meristematic tissues uses to make the plant to grow in height, okay? And what is the use of intercalary meristematic tissue? It makes the leaf, stalk and all strong. The internodes can be grown. And lateral meristematic tissue helps the plant to grow in diameter. Okay, it makes the plant to become fatter. So this is how the meristematic cells in the meristematic tissue continuously they keep dividing, and that helps in the growth of a plant, guys, right? So very important. Which cells are responsible for growth of a plant? Meristematic cells. Okay, so many cells, meristematic cells will form a group, and that group only we will call it as meristematic tissue. 3 types. One is apical, the other one is intercalary, and the other one is lateral. So where is apical present? What it will do? Where is intercalary present? What it will do? Where is lateral present? What it will do? This is what you need to remember mainly, right? And now, once the plant has grown, okay, with the help of meristematic tissue present in various regions, the plant is growing. It is growing in height, it is growing in diameter, the leaves are becoming stronger because of the growth, they are becoming thicker. Yes, all this is due to meristematic cells or tissues. Fine. Once the growth is achieved in a plant, once the plant is fully grown, then these meristematic tissues is getting converted into something else. I told you, right? These meristematic tissue will not remain like this for a lifetime. They will try to get converted into another type of tissue. They are actually going to become a permanent tissue. That process is actually called as differentiation. Okay, very important. Note, take a note here. Once a growth is observed in a plant, once a growth is achieved in a plant, what happens, guys? Meristematic tissue will get specialized. Okay, till now their function is to divide only, but now their function is getting changed. Now cell division, no more division is required because the plant is already grown. Okay, so what happens? The meristematic tissue will get specialized, and the cells or tissue gets converted into permanent tissue. Okay, actually permanent tissues has certain function. They will do certain job inside a plant body, right? And now this meristematic tissue, now the growth is over, so those cells are getting converted into permanent tissue, and they also will try to perform certain function inside a plant body. Okay, so this process of converting meristematic tissue into permanent tissue, okay, is called differentiation. Clear? So write down carefully, guys. Process of converting meristematic meristematic tissue into permanent tissue is called differentiation. Try to remember this word. Now the cells of meristematic is becoming much more specialized. That means they are converting into permanent tissue. Okay, so such a process is called as differentiation. And in my next class, let us try to understand everything about the permanent tissue. Okay, what are the different permanent tissues are there? Which permanent tissue does what work? All this we will study. Till then, keep revising the topic. Okay, very important, meristematic tissue. If meristematic tissue is not there, the growth is not possible in a plant, isn't it? And remember, in all parts of the plant, you don't find meristematic tissue. Only at certain areas, where only at tip or in the internodes or in the lateral position, that is in the stem area, because that is where growth has to be observed, right? So that's all about the today's lecture, and keep waiting for the next video. Till then, take care.